Pass the touchy on the left hand side. Pass the touchy on the left hand side. Pass the touchy on the left hand side. Pass the touchy. Pass the touchy. Remix. Pass the touchy on the left hand side. Pass the touchy on the left hand side. Oh, 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 oh. I'm wearing green because it is green like cannabis. Oh my goodness. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the JB Show on RBN. That's Revolutionary Blackout Network. Let you guys know that the JB Show streams every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also have my own channel called the JB Font Channel. You can catch me on the JB Font Channel on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as well as here on RBN Live at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, and on the Savvy and JB Show on Thursdays at 6. If you guys also please make sure to give this stream a like, as well as subscribe. And thank you to all the patrons on Patreon for your contributions. But without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here at RBN. So it's a huge thank you to every single one of you. Also, just let you guys know, I also did just finish doing a stream on my channel with Richard Medhurst. So if you guys want to check that out after this stream, you guys can go and check that out after this stream as well. It was a really great conversation talking about foreign policy and how the United States basically is like brain from Pinky and the Brain, but except for they haven't tried. They actually, in a sense, already taken over the world, but we're trying to stop them. But yeah, that was a really great conversation. So just wanted to say my customary hellos to everybody in the chat. And let's get going to say our hellos. Hello, official People's Party USA says it is a move in the needle of what is just. In my almost 54 years, has always went in the direction of institutionalist fascists and continued propagation of prohibition. Thank you so very much. They continue. I do think now is to push for even more relief from the anti-cannabis establishment. Strike while the iron is hot, hit them where they are weak kind of mentality. Should be protesting about it. Thank you so very much. Gene, good to see you. So I learned about what's going on with the big deal marijuana bill from Jimmy Dore show. Thanks for covering this, guys. The war on humans, drug war, needs to end. Thank you so very much. We have Gary also in the chat saying the creation of the Substance Control Act and the DEA was a specific attack on the civil rights anti-war socialist coalition. It's payback time. Very, very good. Thank you so very much for that as well. Who else is in the chat that I get to say hello to? We have Miguel in the chat saying peace. So good to see you, Miguel. We also have Lawrence Johnson. Good to see you. Eric Gray saying, what's up, everybody? And as usual, JB, many Floridians will not learn from the fallout of Hurricane Ian. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are still not getting help. And I'm trying to look into see, what's going on, especially in the Gulf Coast. But yeah, there are some people just aren't being helped. And there are people who fall through the cracks, especially when you have a system that is geared towards profit and not towards people. So then people will always fall through the cracks no matter what. And, on top of that, if you want to talk about the central planning within the United States, it's not actually geared towards people, because that means that you want to make profit. That being said, that the people who don't have the money to pay for you to get profit are still always going to be, getting the short end of the stick. So when a major natural disaster like Hurricane Ian that we had a couple of weeks back happens, then guess what? They're going to get shafted, whereas somebody who is affluent or wealthy or rich, they don't. So guess what? They're going to have the help that they need because they actually have the funds to do it. But the people who don't, who get paid starvation wages, they're going to get shafted. And guess what? Those are the people who have wind damage to their homes, who have flooding to their homes, and they don't have anything. And people be like, well, that's what insurance is for. Even the insurance companies don't want to pay things out. So if even if they do, it'll be maybe just maybe where right where it needs to be. Or if they don't have insurance because insurance is expensive, and plus insurance premiums go up whenever things like this happen, then they get shafted as well. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Eric Gray. Appreciate it. We also have Zach Davis in the chat saying, hi, JB. Hi, Zach. Good to see you. Arif Hassan says, Liberia. Good to see you, Arif. All right. Mouse Dit says, spectacular interview with Richard Medhurst, JB. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was wonderful. I love talking to, it's interesting. And this is not meant to be a generalization. But one thing I notice, especially people who are from North Africa, and well, really, if you count anybody from a country, especially that's been exploited, one thing that is really apparent is that they tend to have a very good sense of humor. Like, look, talking. That's not you. Gosh, elocution, JB, elocution. I'm talking to myself. And correct pronunciation. People who are from places like the Middle East, it could be from Iraq, Iran, they could be from Afghanistan, they could be from Morocco, they could, they could be from Syria. Um, there's so many people from that region that have an amazing sense of humor. And I can say something funny and they'll get it, or they make me laugh. And so, it's just interesting, it's just like, you get somebody that's, I don't know, from Gambia, you know, and they have an amazing sense of humor, or somebody from Brazil or Venezuela. It's just awesome how, you can just vibe and chat with them, and then you can actually start talking about funny stuff, and it's just hilarious. And I just love people, and it's just great to be able to talk to somebody like Richard, or somebody like Mo that I had last week here on RBN talking about Iran. It's that we have there's this human connection, and not saying that that can't happen with anybody from the West, or from the West, or anybody from European nations or anything like that. There are many people like that too. It's just from people who aren't westernized, they tend to have a very good sense of humor. And I think part of it also is we learn how to laugh through the pain, so to speak, laugh through the oppression so that we can continuously deal with it. I think that's something that a lot of us have in common. So that's something that, I notice. But thank you so very much, Mousted. All right. We have CBC voter says one more. Sabby Sabs. Sabby's in the chat. Is she? I didn't see her. If she is, then Savvy, make yourself known. Pay up for me. I'm so silly. All right. Let's see who else. We have Dana Fairbanks saying, hey, everyone. Hello, Dana. Or is it Dana or is it Donna? Oh, no. Donna is with two N's. Dana is with one N. Did I get it right? I hope so. All right. We have, gosh, I'm going to try to pronounce this. Troglodyte. I hope I said it correctly. If Biden follows through and deschedules marijuana, it would be a bigger deal For example, I live in a legal state but cannot grow weed because I live in federal housing. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation as well. John H is in the chat saying, "Comrades, peace. Good to see you as well." Saul Good saying, "Sup, sup, Saul. Better call Saul." All right. Go start. Go start. Yep. Says like and share. Good vibes. Good to see you. Zach says, "Do you consume JB? My kidney doctor cautioned me against it." Weed? Yep. I had edibles 2 nights ago. Now, here's the thing. Uh, Nephrologists a lot of times will probably caution against it because if you're trying to get a transplant or if you're on the list and that they find marijuana in your system, they will take you off the transplant list. I'm not on the list yet. I'm trying to get on the list, but in order to do that, there's some things that have to happen before I can get on the list. But once I do that, my consumption for marijuana will go down to zero. But for now, shoot, yeah, I consume. You see, Anchor 0690 says, "Do you mean departing that pardons no one?" Stick around. We're going to talk about it. Saul Good. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Saul, for the generous super chat. I never gave. You give with your presence every day, Saul. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate it. Very generous. Let me see. Who else is in the chat that I can say hello? Daily says the biggest benefit is the freedom from housing and employment discrimination. Thank you so very much. Let me see. Wadi Pilgrim says, "Hey, everybody. Hey, Wadi. So good to see you in the chat." Let me see. MJ, Anti-Imperialist Party, says it's over $6 a gallon in California. Ooh, that sounds nasty. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Leroy says the fact that my daughter can't consume since she had a kidney transplant. Wish she could consume. Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's bad, especially for people who are of age, and it can help. You know, especially with its medicinal properties. And then some people are like, "Well, you can't consume if you're, if you have a kidney or you're trying to get a kidney transplant." It's like, really? Anywho, but let's get to the news. Okay, so I know everybody's wanting to talk about um the Biden issue, but I'm gonna have to go a little dark just for a second. Like, I'm gonna clown on Biden in a little bit because war criminals, they deserve to be clowned. Just, you know, we're gonna end this stream joyfully, but we have to start somber. So there was a shooting. Officer involved shooting. Police shot at somebody. Okay. And it happened not too long ago. And every single time you see police and how they behave and how they act towards citizens, it increasingly intensifies my resolve that defunding the police on the road to abolition is the correct course of action to take. Some people will go, "Well, that's not a really good slogan because defund the police is unpopular, blah blah blah." And it's like, well, it's gaining popularity. Number one. Number two, you can't co-opt it. Defund the police is very hard to co-opt. That being said, it also opens up a conversation. Defunding for whom? I mean, if you want to say divest from the police, okay, we can do that. But what does it mean to defund? What does it mean to divest from police? Well, your divestment really means that you're taking that money away and you're reinvesting into other programs, other things that actually could benefit people instead of giving it straight to the police. Why would I invest in a wrecking ball to tear down a building instead of taking that same money and investing in tools that can help fix up the building instead? Why would I do that? Why would I just wreck shit? Why do I need to do that? If it can be fixed. If I have some electrical problems in a house, let's say there's a wall, there's some faulty electrical problem issues, with the outlets and the switches in the house. Why in the hell am I going to take a wrecking ball to that house? When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Why are we doing this? Why are we putting the police in so many different facets of society in order to alleviate the ills of society? Number one, they are not qualified to do this. That's number one. Number two, their origin and their inception is not conducive to remedy the ills of society that we see today. So they're no good in our society today. They may have been good for the people who wanted to catch slaves back in the day. That's what they were used for. Let's be real. But now, even though we still have legalized slavery in the United States, but that's a whole other conversation that some of y'all ain't ready for. But I digress. But yeah, no, there's not a lot of people who do not realize that in order to combat homelessness, police is not the answer. In order to keep order in schools, police is not the answer. In order to do traffic stops, police isn't the answer. In order to touch on a mental health issue, police is not the answer. Yet, we treat the police like a Swiss Army knife for any and all of society's ills. Even if you are pro police, let's just say hypothetically you're pro police, by you putting them in the position to remedy all these different situations, that's really an insult to them. That's an insult to them. Because you're basically saying that you guys are just a cleanup crew for every single bad thing in society. And that's it. Even if you're pro police, even if you're pro cop, by not defunding the police and reallocating those sources to the parts of the community that's needed, you're insulting them. Now, am I going to say ACAB? Yeah. Yes. Who the hell do you think I am? And welcome to RBN, ACAB all day, right? But here's my thing. To the people who claim to be pro police and pro cop, even then you're still insulting them. So guess what? Even for you, it would behoove you to be for defunding the police and reallocating those resources to areas where they should be allocated to. Look, we have a bad ROI. ROI is an acronym used in financial circles to mean return on investment. The return on investment, as far as police is concerned, is dismal. We spend billions of dollars on police within this country. And what do we have to show for it? Who does the escalation within our communities when it comes to violence? There are literally 250,000 rape kits that are untested within the United States. How many of those rape kits have the DNA of some cops in them? There was a study that, where a survey found that 40% of the spouses of police admitted to, or 40% of police admitted to being, you know, violent with their partners. So domestic violence, that's 40% of people who responded to the survey. 40%. And that's for the people who are honest with themselves and responded. What about the people who aren't honest with themselves? Do you really want those people serving and protecting your neighborhood? So yeah. So let me get to, I say all that to get to uh let me go to the article first and then I'll show you guys the actual video. Because a lot of times people will go, well, what's the context? Like, what was the kid doing? What was this person doing? I mean, they must have been doing something bad in order for police to want to pull out their firearm and shoot at them. We'll get into that in a second. Okay, so let's go here. This is out of ABC News. It says Texas officer fired after shooting hamburger eating teenager. I didn't know that was illegal, but the fuck. It starts off. It says a Texas police officer was shot. A Texas police officer who shot and wounded a teenager who had been sitting in his car eating a hamburger has been fired. Just fired. Just fired. San Antonio officer James Brennan was fired after shooting Eric Cantu, 17 years old, on October 2nd in a fast food restaurant parking lot, police training commander Alyssa Campos said in a video released Wednesday. Brennan had responded to an unrelated disturbance at the fast food restaurant when he saw Cantu inside the car, which had evaded him a day earlier. A Texas prosecutor said in a statement that he had not seen enough evidence to file charges against the teenager. District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says, while Sunday's shooting was an unarmed teenager by a then San Antonio police officer remains under investigation, the facts and evidence we have received so far led us to reject the charges against Eric Cantu for further investigation. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. First of all, I call bullshit because here's my thing. Okay, let somebody who doesn't have a badge or a gun, let somebody who doesn't have a badge or a gun open up the door and point and shoot a gun at somebody just trying to get their grub on. What would happen to that person? Wouldn't charges be filed against that person for doing that? Why are we getting so much deference to a pig that decided to shoot at a kid that's just eating? Why are we giving that much deference to them? Just fired? Just fired. Hold up. Let's get into this. Let's show the actual video. Hang on. Okay. Because let's see how much deference we should give to this former police officer. Because everybody's like, oh, well, he was just being he was just doing what a police officer does. Shout out to Kasim Rashid. Says, police violence against children. San Antonio cop opens fire on a 17-year-old kid eating a burger in his car, claimed the kid attacked him. Police shot multiple times and charged him with evading police and aggravated assault. Cop fired, no charges. How do you reform this? Let's just take a look, shall we? Hold on. Make sure this is full screen so y'all can see. This is the body cam video.
Get out of the car. What? Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
For shots fired on 3161, 11 to 100, Blanco Road, code 320. 3161, 3101 on the camera there, 3221 on the camera there as well, code 3.
Okay, so let's let this keep playing while I'm talking so that everybody sees it for the context that it is. What is in his hand? Is that a gun? Is that something dangerous? Right? Hang on. Is that a gun in his hand? Is that a weapon in his hand? The only danger I see in what he has in his hand is heightened cholesterol. That's all that I see. That's the only dangerous thing that I see in his hand. His cholesterol may go up. That's it. Other than that, why are you doing that? This is where your tax dollars are going. This is why I talk about defunding the police or the road to abolition. How would you feel if you're getting your grub on, you're a 17-year-old kid in your car, you got that McDouble that you've been craving all day. You're sitting in your car, you probably even got some music, you probably got The Weeknd on the radio. You're probably chilled, jamming to Blinded by the Lights, and you're just chilling, eating. Next thing you know, a police officer makes you open up your door, and they're like, get out of the car. And the first question you ask is why? Because you have a right to know why you're being asked to get out of the car from a police officer when, did you even see any lights from the squad car? I didn't see any. And then they point their gun at you. Number one, fear is the first response to seeing that. You don't know who the hell that could be. And so can you blame him for being scared and taking the fight or flight response? For somebody doing that? Hold on. Boom. That's clearly attempted murder. Shots fired! Shots fired! You're the one that shot the gun! You're the one that shot the gun! Who else shot? Shots fired! That was from you! That was from you! Not you, Anchor. Sorry, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the police officer. Dude, that was from you! Shots fired? That was if all look, the only person that discharged their firearm was the police officer. At a kid with a hamburger. With a hamburger. Are hamburgers dangerous now? Are they? Look, and this is why when I was talking to Richard Medhurst earlier, he was talking about I see what's going on and how people like you in this country are treated. This kid, guess what? The way he's treated? Look, and it's not even just Black or Latino or Asian. Anybody. Look, it's even happening to white people. They just don't talk about it a lot. But it's happening to white people too. Those of us who are poor and working class, yeah, police are going against you too. Can't even eat a burger in a parking lot in peace. Look, yo, hold up. Let's go. Look, he's like, why? And then the police officer lunges at him. And then boom, boom, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9, almost 10 shots. And you mean to tell me that police officer was just doing his job? Look, I'll put it to you like this. If you're that scared on the job, knowing that you wanted to be a police officer, then you should have never gotten to that job. You should have never gotten to it. If you're so much of a wuss, don't take the job. Because you're scared of teenagers with cheeseburgers. If you're scared of a teenager with a cheeseburger, you should not be a cop. You should not be in law enforcement. You're going to sit here and point a gun. Man, defund they ass. Defund them. All the money, that's money wasted on that uniform. That's money wasted on that badge. That's money wasted on that gun. That's money wasted on them tasers. That's money wasted in that squad car, on them radios. That's money wasted. That money could go to that kid going to college. That money could go to us having more housing, better housing. And to anybody who wants to talk about, oh, well, don't tread on me. If you got that don't tread on me flag and you're not outraged about this, where you at? Where you at? Don't tread on me. That's literally treading on citizens. We live in a police state. Don't y'all get it now? What has we been on RBN have been saying? What has Nick, Savvy, CJ, and Rome have been telling y'all? Don't you listen? And these are the same dudes that are trained by the Israeli Defense Force. Shoot first, ask questions later. But if the person's dead, then what, is that justice served to you? Yeah, I'm on a rant. Yes, I'm on a rant. Because you know what? This is crazy. I'll be damned if my nephew, who's 18 now, is sitting in his own car eating a cheeseburger and he gets shot at by police for just sitting in a car eating a cheeseburger? I don't care if he did something the day before and you wanted to catch him. You do not perform extrajudicial killings, murders, and assassinations, executions on people like that. He was not a danger. He had a cheeseburger. He had a cheeseburger. He had a cheeseburger. Does that really get through to you? We can take down and arrest without incident mass shooters, no problem. But God forbid they got a double cheeseburger. God forbid they got a McChicken or a spicy McChicken. Oh, they're dangerous now. Thank you, CEB Applejack says Biden's pardon. It's not a pardon. It's a cheap parlor trick Biden did for just votes. There are 0 convicts in federal prison for simple marijuana use. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second. Thank you very much for that, by the way. But yeah. It's just crazy that this happens. And there are people who are going to want to take the side of the police officer or the cop. Justify this. How is this justified? How do you justify this? He opened the door. He didn't even tell him to open the door. He opens his own door. He comes and just opens the door. By the way, in the reflections of the car, I don't see any lights. No red or blue flashing lights at all to even let him know he was there. And all this pig gets is fired? That's it? That's it. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all. Because people, I see what you said, CEB. Don't be making me laugh when I'm trying to be serious. Don't be making me laugh. But yeah, it's true. You're right. Let me share my screen with y'all. If y'all have not shared this, y'all need to share. Y'all need to share the 10 Demands website. 10 Demands for Justice on the Road to Abolition. Y'all need to share this because then it goes down to demands. Because let me tell y'all, we need these demands to be met. And the thing is that this is something that y'all can actually push for. Show it. I don't look, especially a lot of people who are viewers of RBN. A lot of you guys, may follow or follow independent candidates or candidates from third parties. Share this with them if they don't know about it. Share this with them. Because 10 Demands is actually a great resource. The creators of it are people like Awkward, Zoya, and Nick of RBN, who helped create this, along with some other people. Forgive me, I forget their names, but you know, it's these 10 demands that are absolutely necessary. Why? Because it means our very survival. It means our survival. Because this kid did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He was just chilling, eating a cheeseburger, and a police officer, a terrorist, shot at him. I'm not mincing words. A criminal shot at him. That's who he was. And all he got was fired. You guys are willing to arrest somebody that's homeless, that's just sleeping out on the street. You're willing for someone to have some drug on them that they're about to take, and you arrest them for a drug they're about to take. But this pig shoots at a 17-year-old and y'all don't arrest him? Oh, rules for thee, but not for me, right? Rules for thee, but not for me? It's okay when you're shooting, and then on top of that, you're not only shooting at the car, but those bullets can fly and hit somebody else. What if somebody who was around in the area got shot because of what that officer did? What if? He was just doing his job. That wasn't doing his job. Motherfucker, this ain't 48 hours. This ain't rush hour. This ain't training day, motherfucker. This is not Law and Order. You literally could have killed him. And the sad part is, there are way too many people like that in the law enforcement who are just like this guy. This is why they need to be defunded and abolished as we know it, so that we can actually create true public safety in the way that it needs to be formed. James Brennan deserves to have charges filed against him. James Brennan deserves to be in jail. James Brennan needs to be taken off the street. I said it. I said it. If it can work for y'all, it can work for me. James Brennan needs to be taken off the streets. He is a danger to society. Because he literally shot at a 17-year-old unprovoked. He's a criminal. God forbid what life is like at home with him. You see how it can work both ways? See, it works even better with me because it should not be happening. And yet here it is. So let me go to the chat before I move on to the next story. You're stupid, said that name. Cute dog, though. Cute dog. Cops shoot 3 people every day in America. I don't think the Crips and Bloods even have a record like that. Damn. Wadi says, but the propaganda is so compelling. Nobody gets hurt except the bad guys, and the cops are always trying to do right, except for the occasional bad apple. There's a lot of innocent people that are hurt by police. Bad cookies, you drunk? Hey, bad cookies. Chuck E. Cheese says, or are you licking the government boot while hiding behind the government censorship on the issues, hiding behind the Hillary Rodham Clinton narrative on CNN creation of BLM? Behind the HRC narrative, the CNN creation of BLM. I have no idea. But censorship should not be happening, but it happens in this country too. Look, shit, I'm probably being throttled right now just for the stream. Moustit says, I had a boss who carried a pistol around and called it our employee healthcare plan. Wow. Yes, AG says the show's movies got into this empty head. Wadi says menace to society. Yeah. Let me see. CEB says, I am sure Cenk Uygur and TYT would say James Brennan was justified. You know them cheeseburgers, man. It's the cholesterol, man. It's the cholesterol. Yeah. I have no idea. But the organization has been disappointing, to say the least. So the movement, no, the movement, keeps going, but the organization, nah. But let me go to The Rock. See. Share your screen, JB. Share it. Share it. All right. Okay. All right. Rory O'Neill. Happy Sunday, JB. Thank you so much, Rory. Lily John. 112. Is that the 112, the group? Oh, that's just somebody always advertising in the comments for something. Like, gosh. The Borg says OPEC Plus cuts production, Dark Brandon, White House screams, Saudi Arabia, Russia collusion. Oh, gosh. Okay. Thank you to everybody that's watching on The Rock. So, yeah. Like, Officer Brennan, or former Officer Brennan, should be prosecuted and charged with shooting at Eric Cantu. he should be charged with attempted murder. I would charge him with that. But you got to remember, the district attorney and all of them, they're in bed with, the rest of law enforcement. So guess what? They're not going to try to go against it. Give him the boot says, I'm advertising these hands, rated E for everyone. You win, give him the boot. You win. You win. John Chaos. I don't know what this 112 group is. You don't know the group 112? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a group called 112. Hang on. You guys, you don't know the R&B group 112? I can see you over there, just chilling with your girlfriends. Can't believe you're by yourself. You should be here with me, chilling with me, drinking with me, freaking with me. Oh, I see you looking at me. I can tell by your eyes that you're feeling me, and I really want you to get close to me. So would you dance with me, my drop tops in the parking lot, and I want to take you back to my spot. So we still got a little more time to run. So would you dance with me, come on. You gotta know who 112. Come on, man. Oh, come on. You don't know who 112 is? What in the hell? Shit. Yeah. Come on, man. Peaches and cream. You know like I'm a fiend. Oh, don't get me started on peaches and cream. You know what I mean? Peaches and cream. It's exactly what you think it's about. Come on now. Anywho, that was a nice little break before we get into clowning Brandon. Okay, so let's go. Yep. Just like when Nick dances, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right, baby. All right, Yasmin. I see you, Yasmin. I see you. That's okay. It's not everybody's favorite type of genre of music. I got an eclectic taste. But anyways, so now to Brandon. Okay. So should I start with the video first? I think I'll start with the video first. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Video first. Come on, JB. Get it together, buddy. All right. Let me see. Okay. Let's do this. Sorry, you guys have to look at his face too. Sorry. Crime against humanity. Oh well. All right. Let's go.
As I said when I ran for president, no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. It's already legal in many states, and criminal records for marijuana possession have led to needless barriers to employment, to housing, to educational opportunities. And that's before you address the racial disparities around who suffers the consequences. While white and black and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, Black and brown people are arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionately higher rates. So today, I'm taking 3 steps to end this failed approach. First, I'm announcing a pardon for all prior federal offenses for the simple possession of marijuana. There are thousands of people who are convicted for marijuana possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result of that conviction. My pardon will remove this burden on them. Second, I'm calling on all governors to do the same for state marijuana possession offenses. Third, the federal government currently classifies marijuana as a Schedule I substance, the same as heroin and LSD, and more serious than fentanyl. It makes no sense. So I'm asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Attorney General to initiate a process to review how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. Even as federal and local regulations of marijuana change, important limitations on trafficking, marketing, and underage sales should stay in place. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It's time that we right these wrongs.
Let's dissect this, shall we? Let's give this a dissection.
As I said when I ran for president, no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana.
That's not what you thought 30 years ago. That's not what you thought. In fact, who wrote the 94 crime bill? Who wrote it?
It's already legal in many states, and criminal records for marijuana possession have led to needless barriers to employment,
Whose fault was that?
to housing, and educational opportunities.
Who did that too? Who helped push that narrative?
And that's before you address the racial disparities around who suffers the consequences.
Well, racial disparity. Weren't you the same guy that said you didn't want your kids growing up in a racial jungle?
While white and black and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, Black and brown people are arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionately higher rates.
Oh, so you do know the facts about what's going on. And you should have known this for years and years and years. Did you know this when you were writing the 94 crime bill?
So today, I'm taking 3 steps to end this failed approach. First, I'm announcing a pardon for all prior federal offense.
A pardon? As if they actually did something wrong, and yet now you're going to pardon them because you feel like, oh, you did something wrong, but we're going to forgive you for it. If we realize that it should have been decriminalized and legal all along, then why are we going to pardon somebody for something that they didn't do wrong? It's like you doing something. It's like you not doing something wrong, and somebody goes, "I forgive you." There's nothing to forgive. They didn't do anything wrong, so why the pardon? Why the pardon? Joey, come on.
For the simple possession of marijuana.
Okay, hold on. This is very important. Let's make sure that we get this.
For all prior federal offenses for the simple possession of marijuana.
For the simple possession of marijuana. He does not say in conjunction with any other offense. So let's say you were arrested for marijuana possession by the feds. They also probably got you on the attempt to distribute. That could be another offense. They could also get you on resisting arrest, even though you're like, you could just be like, why are you trying to arrest me? And they'll try to get you on that. Maybe you're trying to hide it because you don't want to be arrested for it because, whatever. That they may put that as obstruction of justice or interfering with, or tampering with that evidence or something like that. So They may get you on that. But if you're trying to hide the weed so you won't get arrested, and now weed is legal, you should not have that charge on your record. That should be expunged because you were literally, that's like trying to hide alcohol. Do you get arrested for hiding alcohol even when it was still illegal back then? Are you, doesn't make sense. So
There are thousands of people who are convicted for marijuana possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result of that conviction.
no thanks to you. That's what your bill did. It helped push that.
My pardon will remove this burden on them. Second, I'm calling on all governors to do the same for state marijuana possession offenses. Third,
He said just marijuana possession. No doubt, most people who get charged with possession get charged with other things too. So is it really going to actually commune the sentences of these people? Is this going to release them from jail? Because how many people are actually in prison for simple just possession? And that's the only thing they're in prison for. No, because you guys tag more stuff on them.
Third, the federal government currently classifies marijuana as a Schedule I substance, the same as heroin and LSD, and more serious than fentanyl. It makes no sense. So I'm asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Attorney General to initiate a process to review how marijuana is scheduled under.
To review. You know what's funny about the review of why it should be under schedule? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but anybody who's in the chat who are maybe watching, how many reports by the CDC are there of marijuana overdoses? How many marijuana overdoses are recorded by the CDC? How many deaths are from alcohol poisoning? So here's my question. Why do you need to review it? Why do you need to review it? You guys already have all the facts. You guys have all the information already. That's like saying, am I going to get a cake for my birthday? Oh, we're thinking about it. Either you are or you aren't. Gosh.
Under federal law. Even as federal and local regulations of marijuana change, important limitations on trafficking, marketing, and underage sales should stay in place.
Okay, let's examine this for a second.
Regulations of marijuana change, important limitations on trafficking.
Who's trafficking marijuana? Would you say all those dispensaries are trafficking marijuana? That's sale, right? What's so bad? Like, if you're going to legalize it, then why are you concerned with trafficking it. Like, are people trafficking alcohol? Do you call it trafficking booze?
Marketing and underage sales should
Marketing and underage sales. So, okay, so he's talking about giving it to kids. Okay. All right. You can keep laws like that in place so that anybody under the age of 21 should not consume marijuana. Okay, that's fine. Okay. They're still going to get to it anyway. I mean, how many movies do we have of teenagers trying to buy booze? Has anybody ever seen Superbad? You know how many shows of kids trying to buy alcohol? Some of them succeed. So, like, that actually works. Anywho, still, I think it should be withheld until the age of 21 for brain development, things like that. But that's coming from a scientific perspective, you know. But here's my thing. Like, there's literally, like, you can just make it a law and be like, no sale at all. And guess what? It's like that in other states where you can't sell any item with THC in it to anybody under the age of 21. So, okay. But gosh, he annoys me.
stay in place. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana.
Your failed approach to marijuana. Your failed approach. Let's be real. God damn it.
It's time that we right these wrongs.
Oh, so you're going to repeal the 94 crime bill? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to repeal it? Right these wrongs. Repeal the 94 crime bill. You're going to apologize for it? Commune the sentences of people who are under nonviolent drug offenses? Are you going to do that? Oh, no. See, that's not what he's going to do. Because that's not how he rolls. So here's a little bit more detail. Gosh. This is what Biden says. Says, as I said before, no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. Yeah, that's all your fault. That's partly your fault, buddy. Today, I'm taking steps to end our failed approach. Allow me to lay them out. First, I'm pardoning all federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. There are thousands of people who are previously convicted of simple possession who may be denied employment, housing, education opportunities. As a result, my pardon will remove this burden. Just because they're being pardoned doesn't mean they're not still going to be arrested, though. Anywho, second, I'm calling on governors to pardon simple state marijuana possession offenses. There's a lot to read in between the lines. Just as no one should be in federal prison solely for possessing marijuana, no one should be in local jail or state prison for that reason either. Third, we classify marijuana at the same level as heroin and more serious than fentanyl. It makes no sense asking Secretary Becerra and the Attorney General to initiate processes of reviewing how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. I also like to note that federal and state regulations change. We will still need to import limitations on trafficking, marketing, and underage sales of marijuana. Sending people to jail for possessing marijuana has upended too many lives for conduct that is legal in many states. That's before you address the clear racial disparities around prosecution and conviction. Today, we begin to right these wrongs. Now, I said in a tweet, Biden's just being deceptive, right? To which I got plenty of people actually saying, yeah, we know he's being very deceptive. Shout out to Leftward Swing and Zadara, the magician. Leftward Swing screenshotted this and sent this to me. And Leftward Swing said, well, crap. It was fun while it lasted. Zadara says, in terms of Biden pardoning people, please read between the lines. According to the White House, no one is currently in federal prison solely for simple possession of the drug. So this releases no one from prison. Also, the convictions were not voided. They still stand. And the pardon does not cover convictions for possession of other drugs or for charges relating to producing or possessing marijuana with an intent to distribute. Also, Biden is not pardoning non-citizens who were in the U.S. without legal status at the time of the arrest. So a very small number of people are actually going to benefit from this. Very small number. So this is really symbolic at best. And you're going to have a lot of liberals going, well, look what Joe Biden did regarding marijuana. This is not even a 16th measure. It's not even a 30-second measure. That's how small this is. He could have decriminalized it across the board, took it out of the schedule. He could have did all that. But Joe Biden doesn't change. This is just his public position. It's not talking about his private position. So yeah. Let me share something else just to solidify things just a little bit more. This is from Now This. Let's go. Oh, wait. Sure. Okay. All right.
Biden just did more for weed than any president in history. But in my
That's debatable, but whatever.
opinion, it's just not enough. Here's why. President Joe Biden's announcement to pardon simple possession charges for weed at the federal level is massive. But the move he should have made is federally decriminalizing cannabis. Pardoning possession is a huge first step. I'm not even going to try to downplay that. It's enormous for a president to finally come out and make a move like this. While we're praising Biden, he also asked the Attorney General and the Secretary of Health and Human Services to review the Schedule I status of cannabis, which would make it much easier to study the myriad of medical benefits of the plant. While Biden's decision only affects federal convictions, he also urged governors to follow his lead for folks convicted of simple possession at a state level, which is where most simple possession charges end up. If Biden had also federally decriminalized cannabis, future pardons would be a moot point because it would prevent more people from going to jail for having weed in their pocket next week or next year. But he didn't.
But he didn't. Joe Biden still believes you should be arrested for marijuana possession. Let's put it out there. He still wants you to be arrested for it. This is just a political tool. This is just political play.
That's not even mentioning the fact that there are big multi-state corporations who are now raking in billions of dollars from state medical and recreational cannabis programs. Meanwhile, low-level, nonviolent weed dealers are still sitting in prison all over the country for doing the same thing these corporate suits are out here doing legally. So yeah, yay for this announcement. But if I'm being honest, until everyone with any nonviolent weed charge, regardless of quantity, gets out from behind bars and people can possess cannabis without fear of arrest, it's just not enough in my book.
So there you go. There you go. He's not serious. He's not. Anybody who thinks Biden is truly serious about doing this, and people like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I am way more critical of Biden than that guy. But yay, no. He doesn't mean it. And then, look, CJ talked about it, but then you got a lot of people who consider themselves to be on the left that are praising Biden like crazy over this. They're like, oh my God, this was a great step by Joe Biden, blah, blah, blah. Yet people are still going to be arrested federally for possession of marijuana, even though he pardoned this group, is going to need other future presidents to pardon the other groups. People are still going to be put in jail for marijuana possession. People who may be growing marijuana or, are weed guys and gals who may be distributing marijuana for those of us who have a weed guy and gal. They're also not being pardoned. Then you got people who are serving decades for marijuana possession. And they may have other charges tagged on them, but they're not going to be released from prison. How are you, Joe? How are you on the Brittany Griner situation in Russia? Interesting. So yeah, he's not serious. He never was serious. This is a political tool. Remember, what month are we in right now? It's October 9th, right? What's next month? Oh, right. It's an election. It's a midterm election next month. This is to make the Democrats look good in your eyes. That's exactly what this is about. This is just a political tool, a political play in order to get you to vote blue. Because look what Joe Biden's doing for marijuana possession. Look, see? When he's not serious. And then you're going to have some people that are consider themselves to be on the left in this independent media space are going to be like, well, look what Joe Biden's doing. This is a good thing. We should get behind Joe Biden on this. What did Malcolm X say about progress? If you stab me in the back 6 inches, is 6 inches, but then you pull it out 2 inches, is that progress? Is that progress? Because that's what Joe Biden did. He stabbed us in the back 6 inches, but now he's pulling out a couple inches and he's like, see, progress, right? It's just like what Smart Hall did in Avengers Endgame. Time travel. Huh? I say this is an absolute win. Putting the knife in 6 inches and then pulling out 2 inches, they consider that progress. Stop it. Stop it. This is not progress. Stop it. This is politics. And those of you who are cheering this on, you know that this is politics. You know that that's all this is. He's not actually serious. He's being paid by Big Pharma. He's not actually going to do what actually is absolutely necessary. He's not. And guess what? The progressives are not going to push them on this. They're going to go out to the mainstream media. They're probably doing it this weekend. They're probably all over the mainstream media shows right now, cheering on Joe Biden. Yay, Joe Biden. He is actually doing the damn thing. Hello, somebody. And guess what? Is this enough? Why are we cheering? Why is anybody cheering this on? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just weird to me. It's like, why? Why are we cheering something on where it's not even a quarter measure? It's not even an eighth measure. It's like a 16th or a 32nd measure. It's all it is. Big Rich says this country treats us like kids, gives us a pacifier, and then gives billions to other countries. Yeah. That's like eating a bowl of ice cream in front of a toddler, and then you still got that bowl full of ice cream, but then you look at the toddler and says, "Oh, all gone. It's all gone. We have no more." When your bowl's still full of ice cream. How many of you parents actually did that to your kid? It might have not been with ice cream. It would have been with something else. But see, all gone. That's what they do to us. They treat us like we're toddlers while they still have a bowl full of ice cream. But they're telling us there's no more. They gave us just a teeny bit on the spoon, and that was it. See, all gone. That's all we can do. I'm sorry, that's all we can do. That's all we can do. No, we can't. We can't do it all. Yeah, Cat Terrell. Insulting crumbs of crumbling. Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese says, I don't know. The Inflation Reduction Act was by every standard a dramatic expansion of inflation, but people still cheered for it and said it would reduce inflation despite the impossibility of printing money cannot under any circumstances ever reduce inflation, right? That's labor theory of value, that your work generates a value. And if printed, then it reduces the value. Okay. Thank you, Chucky. But yeah. Evelyn says people cheer based off headlines, not content, way too often. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the point. People don't read the fine print. Terms and conditions may apply. Definitely applies to this. Okay. Well, that's basically what is going on or happen. People just really need to stop like believing what Joe Biden is actually saying and look deeper into it. Stop believing the State Department narrative. Stop believing the corporate media that are cheerleaders for, you know, these war criminals. Stop it. Look at the underlying cause. And those of you who are in independent media cheerleading for this, stop. Stop. Y'all know Joe Biden's not serious. And you'll be like, well, this is a step in the right direction. Every crumb is a step in the right direction, but it's still crumbs. When are we ready to flip the table over and say, give me what's mine? I think we're past that point. But what do I know? I'm just a silly socialist. Anywho, Yes, Justin. The bootlicking from so-called left media is truly stomach churning. Yeah. Yeah, we need to stop that. And yes, John. John says, remember when they told us they'd hold Biden's feet to the fire and push him left? John, thank you. See, this is why I love the viewers. Because you get people like John that comes in with a based comment and just helps me in this way. Thank you, John. What about holding Joe Biden's feet to the fire? What about it? Oh, by the way, to some of y'all that mocked, those of us who went to the marches for Medicare for All last year, remember that? Some of y'all were like, "Oh, you guys aren't doing it right." Where's your march for Medicare for All? Remember what I said? Okay, it took them 6 months to do this. You guys got 6 months that you guys can do over 50 cities and organize a march for Medicare for All because y'all believe in it, right? And then do the march, announce it. I will show up and I will actually do a speech at your march too, since they're not doing it right. Where you at? Where you at? We gotta move Biden to the left. Just vote him in and we can push him left. Dun dun. I said dun dun. Where you at? Push him left, anyone? Where you at? Where you been? You guys aren't doing this right. Like, for instance, the action for Assange, they're probably complaining on it now. You guys aren't doing it right. Guess what? Where were y'all? Where are you at? See, this is why you guys got to peep the game at what certain people say and do. Because a lot of times they'll try to discourage you from taking any action against the oligarchy because it's not approved by the Democratic Party. Peep the game and do the opposite of what they tell you. Anywho, I just want to thank all of you for joining. Thank you to everybody who is in the chat. And by the way, to anyone who wants, you guys can go ahead and take a look at my interview with Richard Medhurst that I did this morning. Yes, that was this morning. And also, I will be doing the reading of Dirty Truths by Michael Parenti a little bit later on my channel. The reading for Blood in My Eye is already up on my Rockfin for my channel. So if you guys want to do that, you guys can look at that as well. On my channel this Tuesday, I'll be having on Savage Joy Marie. She will be on, and I'll be talking to her on my channel about the United States and their dereliction of duty to the people, and how really it's a crime that we didn't have, and we still do not have, universal health care during a pandemic. We're going to talk about that. And I can't wait because, Savage Joy, she has Savage in her name for a reason. So we're going to get into it. And yes, we're going to clown on war criminals too, because she and I have the same view of clowning on war criminals. So we're going to laugh about it. I can't wait. I hope you guys join me on my channel. So thank you to everybody also that is, on Patreon, patrons on Patreon. And another massive, huge thank you to everyone who donated to the housing fundraiser that's been going on here on RBN. I can't thank you enough. that's going to save me, uh, you know, a couple $100 each month for my rent. So I'm just basically paying what I was paying the year before. Just so that, until my channel gets big enough where it can, help me out a little bit more. But I want to thank you guys so much for that, because I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to quit RBN, and I don't want to stop doing my channel. But unfortunately, the way the system goes, it kills me. And so I appreciate to everybody. I definitely feel the love, and my mom is so, grateful for it too. So thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Look, all I got to say is water your plants, water yourselves, leave the world better than you found it. Smoke them if you got them, drink them if you got them. And if you don't got them, make sure to laugh today. Make sure to do something for yourself that makes you feel happy today, right? Also, if you're still watching right now, remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth, relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, and breathe deeply from your diaphragm right now. Deep breathe in, deep breaths out. And continue to be as kind as I've always been. Love from me to you, from the top and bottom of my heart. And forehead kisses. Mwah. To all y'all. Beautiful people. You are beautiful. I just want you to know you're my